It's all right. We are back. Hey, look at us. Just about
Hey
a month later,
guys!
actually doing another episode. Look at
I
us.
know. It feels, I don't know, it feels like more of an event after when we leave so much time in between.
This is like a quick turnaround for us, I think.
No, this
Yeah,
is the fastest
honestly.
one in a while.
I'm like, I feel like I just saw you guys.
Yeah, since we've all...
From the last episode, Amanda's sister was at my house, and
Yeah.
now this time, since the last episode, guys, guess
We
what?
met! We met in person!
I went to Amanda's house because I'm friends with her sister as well. So we are all one big happy family. But it
How
was
was it?
amazing. It was so fun.
Yeah,
Like,
we hung out for like a total of 3 hours. Like, I came home from work, we watched one episode of Stranger Things.
Yeah, we watched some Stranger Things, and then the next morning, it was literally me, Amanda, and her parents, and we had breakfast, and it was amazing. Your mom treated me like I was a king. It was amazing.
Like the morning after.
Zoe was at a meeting at work and was going to be back like an hour after I left for work. So then Evan was just in the house with our mom.
Yeah,
And
I
he's
was just
like, "I'm
hanging out
hanging
with their
out."
family because, like, the timeline of just me knowing you guys is in fucking sane. So I
Mhm.
originally had met Zoe in 2014, and that's where I actually got to meet your parents for the first time. So I actually met
Yeah.
Amanda and Zoe's parents back in 2014 in Florida.
Yeah.
And conveniently, Alina was at that event.
At Playlist Live.
Yeah, but we didn't.
Yeah, I was
know
there,
each
but we
other
didn't
just
know
yet.
each other till like honestly a couple months later.
Yeah, no, I think we followed each
Yeah.
other, but like I think I was like in my era where like I was just like I don't know how to be friends with people on the internet.
I was
right
in
now.
I was in my Smosh era, I think.
Oh yeah,
That
hell
was so
yeah.
real for me.
Like, were you in your Supernatural era that time?
Who wasn't?
Because I
Not at that point, but like very shortly after.
because I was a year later. But
I
anyways,
was kind of late to Supernatural, like in the grand scheme of things, I think.
Oh, I showed up in season 10, dude. So fucking
Yeah.
Amanda showed up in season what? 13,
I-
14?
No, hold up. I've been watching it.
You were
for
late?
Years. No,
But
no,
you
no.
just- but you-
I've
but you
been
didn't
watching it
hyperfix
for
on it?
years. I had the poster that
Right.
is on my wall in my bedroom in college. It was on my wall all 4 years of college, my Supernatural poster.
Sorry, I'm a
I
fake
was
Amanda
super
friend.
Hulock from the jump. I just, when I was in college, I didn't have access to DVR, so I couldn't keep up with the episodes from
Yeah.
like season 12 on. And then I
Gotcha,
jumped back
gotcha.
on when it was ending.
You're so OG shameless though.
Sorry, guys, I
so-
did not mean to throw Amanda under the bus like that.
Literal slander.
I apologize. This is my apology.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Shameless, I did watch from when the pilot aired.
Yeah,
I
I
remember
Yeah,
remember
you
watching
you
the
are
pilot
OG
air.
shameless.
yeah, you are OG shameless. I am not. But
I'm not
anyways, it was
either.
amazing getting to meet Amanda finally after so many years, and also
Right.
learning how goddamn close we live to each other.
We're literally a 2-hour train ride away from each other.
like an hour. It was an hour. And then you live, and like Zoe said, she like got to my house in like an hour and a half, dude. But it was raining, so like a little bit more time. But so there will be maybe what's it called?
Like an Instagram
Across-
post.
It's not a
Crossover
live
episode?
version, but whatever. Just like
Me and
I don't
Evan
know.
in the same room.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
me
would
and Amanda in the same
slay.
room.
You guys should come to the Midwest.
Ohio is also not far. It's like an 8-hour.
Not
car
far from
ride.
you. Not far
You
from
say
Philly.
8 hours like it's nothing.
No,
Amanda.
bitches in the
What
Midwest
fuck?
be driving. Like, well, I will. Like, me and my roommates will drive 3 hours. Like 3 hours one way at the drop of a hat.
You ever gone to Canada?
We're also. We're a 45-minute drive from Canada. We went there for
Dude, like what the fuck?
like a weekend trip last year.
Like
Yeah,
I
Evan,
live
it
in
takes me an hour and a half to get to work. Like,
Yeah.
I live in the DMV. Like, I don't know what the fuck you want from me. Like, I live in, like, the tri-state area. Well, you do too, but, like, I don't know. I live in, like, the
Delaware,
weird...
Maryland, Virginia, DMV ish. Everything around Maryland is DC to me.
Yeah. Sidebar. Damn, the lore of all of our friendships is so insane. Or, like, the lore with me, with you guys is...
Someone needs to write a book. Yeah.
are we ready to get started?
Yeah.
so ready.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Luck We Had, a Shameless Recap podcast. We're doing a quick turnaround here. I'm so proud of us. This is a Shameless Recap podcast where we rewatch episodes of Shameless and we break them down scene by scene because we are what? Insane. That's
Crazy.
right. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Amanda.
I'm one of your other hosts, Evan.
I'm your other host, Lena.
And we are in the thick of it, y'all. This episode is fuck. This one hurt. Like, this one actually hurt to do the notes for. Like, oh god. I kept like getting to scenes, pausing, and then like writing out the entire scene from memory, and then going back and watching it. Keep in mind, I've seen this episode maybe twice, but it's embedded in here.
But it's that juicy that it just sticks with you.
Yeah, it hurts too much.
So good. And if I remember this one especially correctly, it is just like masterfully woven together, all of the storylines.
Yeah. I get into that in the notes too, because especially since the clusterfuck that was last episode with the timing, this episode is tight. It's a tight time. Because this is season 5, episode 5, Rite of Passage. This one aired in February of 2015. It's still a summer season, airing in the winter. We love Shameless for that.
Loves it.
It was written by Ethan Frankel. Still never going to learn how to say his name correctly. This is number 8 of 13 for Mr. Frankel for episodes he's written. He's done. Let's hear it again. 107, Frank Gallagher, Loving Husband, Devoted Father. 205, Father's Day. 210, A Great Cause. 307, A Long Way From Home. 312, Survival of the Fittest. 404, Strangers on a Train. 409, The Legend of Bonnie and Carl. This one. And 509, Carl's First Sentencing. And then he does episodes in seasons 6 and 7. 605, Refugees. 610, Paradise Lost. 709, The Defenestration of Frank. And 711, Happily Ever After. He wrote this one and Happily Ever After.
Damn.
Fuck
He's crazy.
He said, I got problems, I'm gonna make you feel them.
Like, fuck you personally, Ethan. Those two specifically hurt so bad. And it was directed by Alex Graves. This is his second of 2. He did 2 episodes of Shameless. He previously directed 209 Hurricane Monica, which,
Damn.
ow. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
no, literally. Dude, get your shit together.
This man also directed 34 episodes of The West Wing, 6 episodes of Game of Thrones, 1 episode of The Boys, and many other projects. He's very booked. He's very busy.
Good for him.
Yeah. And the synopsis of season 5, episode 5, Rite of Passage, is Fiona's announcement plans unravel when a coworker overdoses on heroin. Frank avoids Sammy, Debbie continues training, Mickey asks Lip for help in dealing with Ian, and Kevin is on a mission. What a weird, annoying synopsis.
One of those sentences is literally not true either. Mickey asks for Lip's help in dealing with Ian.
He does. In this episode, he does ask for help.
He does? Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, because I remember the one scene that we'll get to that was like in the promo with the, but I don't remember him asking for help, but I guess he does.
The previously on was done by Debbie being a bitch in the park. Fuck you, Debbie. This is our per episode fuck you, Debbie. Now.
Fuck Debbie, dude.
Oh, before we jump into, I want to point out that we got a lovely, beautiful email from a listener.
Yes,
her name is Jade, and I very much appreciated the lovely, amazing email. I emailed her back this morning. Thank you so much for finding community with us and listening to us. It was so sweet.
It was so sweet. We all read it.
I know.
I screenshotted it and immediately sent it to Evan and Lena. I was
like,
guys, look at this.
Why are people so nice to us?
We love that people actually fucking listen to the show. It's wild that it's not just us screaming into the void. But previously on Shameless, Carl is now a drug dealer and is learning drug math with some help from Frank. Remember that time Frank's liver donor dad came by? And Debbie, aka worst person you know, has taken up defense classes because she likes a boy. V had an orgasm at a club because she and Kev aren't having enough sex. Ian is hyper-focused on the suitcase scam, and he's in the beginning of a manic upswing, and Mickey is worried. Frank got a fuckload of money in a settlement and pissed it away in one night. Fiona got married.
To the hottest man alive.
Real.
How do you pronounce his last name? Is it KZ or Kazee?
Oh, I was about to say Fender?
Oh, I was like Fender.
KZ?
Steve Kazi.
Because it's K-A-Z-E.
Kazee.
Kazee.
Steve Kazee.
Dude, every now and then when I'm like, I don't know, I just go on his Instagram and I just look at him, dude. He's so handsome. He shaved his mustache recently. He looks cute. Thank you.
Also, there was no lip in the entire previously on. It's like his storyline up to now hasn't mattered.
Not
Well,
important.
what? Wasn't he like, he was just in Miami? Who gives a fuck? I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, spoiler. And you're working construction? Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, because like he didn't do anything like too eventful in Miami, so they didn't be like Lip was in Miami. Like no one cared.
Yeah, I mean, I know Amanda's dad offered him a job, but that doesn't really
I know
go
they
anywhere.
like give us honestly like so many like things that could have like built on from just the conversations that he had with Amanda's dad for that to go absolutely nowhere. And then also Amanda becomes a crazy bitch, so
If there's one thing Shameless is gonna do, it's drop a storyline.
huzzah!
They love it.
Loves it.
So Fiona wakes up sleeping on her husband's bed. She has a real ring now, so I guess some time has passed, at least a day, for him to get a real ring on her hand instead of the rubber band. She sees Gus with a needle in his arm, sitting across the room, and she quickly is like, hello, we doing smack in the morning? What's happening here? And he's like, I am diabetic. This is my insulin.
It's
Okay,
so
but-
funny. Because do you shoot up insulin like that?
Yeah, you can, but it's like, I can't even understand why this would be like a hashtag reveal, because they spent like 3 straight days together. I would assume that at some point he would have had
Yeah,
to
I feel like you need
have
insulin.
or check his blood sugar or something.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
insulin is like one of those things you have to like check at least
Like pretty frequently,
periodically.
right? Or he
Yeah.
has like a, or I mean, obviously he doesn't, as we see, but it's like he has like a Dexcom,
That-
Dexcom.
a pacemaker.
a pacemaker.
For his heart.
But I
it's-
guess not.
yeah.
Again, consistency is never a thing in this show. They just needed a dramatic foreshadowing moment of her watching somebody doing what she thought was shooting up heroin,
Yeah.
and then also learning that she knows nothing about this man she's married. Yeah, so this is how she's like, oh, you're diabetic. What else don't I know about my literal husband?
A lot.
Yeah.
Girl, you must not be very perceptive.
And she starts asking him a string of questions like, what's your favorite color? And he's like, who's your favorite band member of the Eagles? And she's like, oh. And then she, first of all, looks very hot and sexy, not wearing pants, just a tank top, sitting on his lap. Like, they're very cute and pretty together. I love it. They know nothing about one another. And they shouldn't be married, but they're hot and sexy, so I like it.
He's so yummy.
They start talking about where they should live, and Gus is like, oh, here's a good one. How long are we going to wait to tell your family that we're married? And Fiona does that deer in the headlights thing that Fiona does. She's like, I'm not telling them. I just haven't told them.
He was always so hyper focused on that, but like we never heard any mention of him calling up his parents and being like, I got hitched.
Yeah.
Didn't he talk about them at one point? He said they live somewhere else.
Yeah, no, because I think it was like the episode prior, it's because he told the story to Fiona about like how they like met after like 3 days and got married and it was true love and they're still married to this day, but they live in it, blah, blah, blah. But I'm
Right.
like,
I feel like I'm thinking of Jimmy, where he's like, mom lives in this and mom lives over in this state in Michigan or
yeah.
something. But they
Yeah.
actually live in Chicago. Yeah.
but yeah, no, like I feel like obviously like that became like a main focus of this like episode, but like that energy is not directed towards him at all. Like, and we don't know if he called up his friends know obviously, but like he didn't say like, oh my god, my mom wants to meet you.
Yeah. Funny you'd be thinking about Jimmy. Jimmy on the brain. Interesting.
Steve.
So Fiona says that she's not avoiding telling her family. She's just having so much fun in the bubble. But then she's like, you know what? We'll tell them tonight. Together, we will tell them. We will announce that we are married. You come over for dinner and we'll tell them. And then it's also the morning, much more stressed out over at the Milkovich house. Mickey comes into the bedroom determined to talk to Ian about how the suitcase thing has gotten out of hand and he's worried. But Ian wakes up, is hypersexual due to the mania stirring up in his brain, and just wants to give Mickey a blowjob. He just wants to have sex. And he like goes for Mickey's belt, and then Iggy opens the door, and Mickey goes to him and says, come in here without knocking and get all aim my Ruger at your fat fucking head and empty the clip. And Iggy, the ally, says, looks like the only place you're aiming is down your boyfriend's throat.
It's so
He
funny.
was funny.
So
He was
silly.
quick with it too. He was like, by the way, you're gay.
So good.
He's like, oh cool, you're gay. You have a boyfriend. Fuck you. What an ally. We love him. and it shows Mickey a wanted poster with a sketch, and Mickey's like, "Who's that?" And he's like, "You stupid."
I know that part who was like, "You stupid."
It does look like him though. It does, like just enough that I'd be like,
just
is
like
that
a
that
tiny
guy?
bit. Did they say what that was from?
It's for the rental truck scam.
Oh
was the
yeah.
moving truck scam, yeah. And Mickey's like, "Oh fuck, man can't earn a living. Cops can kiss my ass." And Ian goes, "How about I do it instead?" And we get him like off screen at Mickey's waistband. Like, well, that feels kind of nice.
Which
Wait, oh my god.
Later he said,
I know, he was like,
Yeah.
that whole thing in season 11 where he was like, "Don't be mad at me because I don't like to get my ass licked."
Yeah, they have this huge fight. But honestly, it's kind of implied that he was just like blowing him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But whatever.
Whatever, loser.
So Mickey got distracted from the point he was trying to make to Ian by a well-placed blowjob, and good for Ian. Unfortunately, Sammy still exists, and we still have to talk about her.
Boo.
She and Chucky are now living in their burnt-out RV in the yard of the Gallagher's house, and Sammy is draining their septic tank when some guy comes by, and he says he's the real estate agent for the woman who owns the plot of land that like the Gallagher's pool is in.
I like the way he comes up to her because he was like, "Oh, Mrs. Blah blah blah, you look so good," and she's like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, you look so good for a 94-year-old woman."
Oh, Mrs. Ginger Gallagher.
No, it's Iris something. She owns the lot next to the house.
Okay. So my question here, I mean, obviously it's not going to make sense because the writers like don't ever make sense with this sometimes. But if Sammy is like openly entering the house whenever she wants, as she does like later in this scene, why aren't they just using the Gallagher bathroom?
Because the Gallaghers are probably like, get the fuck out all the time.
Right, or they lock the door after a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like at night.
But this guy says he's the real estate agent for the woman who owns the plot of land that her RV is parked on. And that woman put the lot on the market, and now Sammy needs to leave, and the Gallaghers need to take down their pool. And Sammy tries to be like, "Well, can't we work something out?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, that's not gonna work."
She's literally covered in like sewage she was draining from her RV too. And she's like, "Ew."
That pool stays up for another, like, the whole season, too. It stays up.
I'm surprised they had the budget to keep that thing alive every summer.
Well, it definitely stays put up through Ian in the hospital and, like, getting out, because there's that one scene of him, like, laying in it when Carl throws the toaster in there.
Yeah.
He was like, electric top therapy.
But then I think it definitely gets taken down, like, before the first snow, so.
Yeah. Inside the Gallagher house, Frank is asleep on the couch, and Fiona is walking down the stairs, takes off her ring before going into the kitchen, and she dodges questions about where she's been for the last couple of days. And she tells the kid, she's like, "You know what? I have news, and I want to announce it tonight." And I think this was Carl that said, no, it was Debbie, that said, "Gallagher's don't do announcements at dinner. We do blackouts, suicide attempts, but not announcements."
And she's right.
She's so right.
Fiona won't budge, and she's like, "I will tell you tonight. I will make my announcement tonight. I will tell you tonight." And then Sammy comes in the door soaking wet and being fucking annoying. And she wakes Frank. She like wrings her shirt out on Frank's face to wake him up.
Why is she wet?
No, I remember that just because Frank looked so cozy there on the couch. He was like, he had a blanket, and he was like...
He was also soaking wet. There was like a storm last night, so that's why they're both wet.
Yeah, he snuck in like early in the morning.
Yeah. So she wakes him up and says they need to call his lawyer. They need to get the insurance money. The money he has already spent and is gone.
Oopsies.
Because she needs the new trailer that he promised her he would get her. And he tells her that he already got the money and he wanted it to be a surprise so he could get her a new trailer. And she buys it.
"Daddy, it's I didn't mean to ruin the surprise."
Right, like, oh, you want it to be a surprise? Then why hasn't it happened already?
Yeah, where'd that go?
If you already got the money, I thought that was your first priority.
We even see Debbie in the background hardcore judging Sammy for believing that shit. Like, come on, baby.
I know, they warned her.
Doesn't she say something to her? She's like, "You're really gonna buy that?" or something?
Yeah.
Or they try to tell her, they try to warn her.
She says it to Frank and then she talks to Sammy about it later, but she's like, "You're not buying her an RV. We know that." He's like, "Yeah, no, I know that." And then she and Frank get in a fight because now the couch is soaking wet because he was soaking wet. And he's like, well, I don't have a bed in this house anymore. It's not your house, Frank. And he says that he got a new liver, that when he got his new liver, he also got new people who cared about him for a change. So he's going to go scam his way into Liver Dad's house. Because that's why we saw him in the previously on. Speaking of people we care about, at the Ball's house, V is having trouble getting one of the babies to stop crying. And once again, Kev is judging her mothering. And he like...
What a dick.
Right?
He definitely was too much of a helicopter parent during these, like, the baby seasons.
Yeah, when he's like, oh, if they hold one of my shirts, they calm down. Like, oh, fuck you, Kev, actually.
Seriously. Bitch. Who carried them? Who carried them?
Who carried them?
Who carried them? Be real.
And they keep snapping at each other. And V says that they need to even the score of her cheating, and he needs to go out and get a hand job from a woman she doesn't know so they can be on equal ground. She's like, that's it. We need to do that, and that will fix things. I cheated, now you gotta go cheat, and now then everything will be fine.
I would rather kill myself than say that to my partner if that accidentally happened. Like, fuck out of here. But I know it's just, like, her own spiraling that's, like, making her go, like, hey, I'm gonna feel better that I did something because now you're gonna do something.
Well, we all know how this works out for them.
Exactly, but, like, girlfriend, we know what's gonna happen.
She's spiraling. She's grasping for anything that might help, that might get them back into the swing with each other. Meanwhile, Lip, he's back in Chicago. He's at work on the construction site. A guy falls off the roof of the project, and they're like, oh, fucker forgot to clip a safety harness in. Anyway, Lip, get up there. And Lip's like, sorry, what?
I'd rather die than do that, because all they're doing is just, like, picking up more concrete on a very tall building.
Yeah. Lip hates this job, but it's paying him. And then we join Carl, who's walking past a coffee shop that's getting set up in the area. Reader, this will be important later. And Carl goes into like an alley behind that coffee shop and changes into his drug dealing clothes, meaning like a polo shirt and khakis in the alley.
Yeah, his nice boy clothes.
I love how they gave him the Mickey cutoff hoodie outfit for a little bit too.
He was
just
inspired.
a sleeveless hoodie. He was like, whoa, I think I like that.
This is what the drug dealer I know wears.
Yeah, it was a hand-me-down. It was given to Ian, and then it ended up with Carl. That would be sweet.
It's so
yeah.
sweet. Oh.
Frank shows up at Liver Dad's house pretending that he mixed up the days that they were supposed to be having lunch together because they did have a scheduled lunch together. And he's like, oh, you know what? The anti-rejection meds, I get days mixed up sometimes. So sorry. I'll come back some other day. And the dad's like, no, wait. Come on in. Let's have lunch. And then he asks to touch the liver surgery scar. And even Frank is like, this is weird.
Isn't there a bit where he lifts it up and he goes to touch one and then Frank's like, no, not that one.
Yeah.
Because of like the kidney getting stolen. He's like, no, not that one. This one over here. He like points somewhere else.
That's so fucking funny.
Unfortunately, Debbie still exists. She
Boo.
worked at a deal where if she does some work around the gym, she gets to keep coming to the lessons that she was taking for free. I hate
Honestly,
the way these
yeah.
scenes are cut. The way these scenes are cut sucks. It's like, it's so...
Time jump moment,
Fast.
intercutting.
It's like just short little bits of scenes that don't make any sense to cut between one another.
See,
I hate it.
This is why the show is made for people with ADHD. It's because we can't focus on a fucking 10-minute long scene. I want a clip
Ensemble
show.
cast. It's an ensemble cast.
Clip show.
We're back to Frank and Liver Dad. And Frank sits down at like a stool at the kitchen island, and the dad's like, how did you know how to sit there? Frank's like, what? He's like, that's where my son died. That's where his son was sitting when he was shot by the intruder.
It's so just
This
like...
is like, have you...
Dude.
Well, okay, have you guys seen The Rehearsal? The Nathan
No.
Fielder yet?
I watched
No?
the first or second episode.
Okay, well, in the second one, there's this guy who, like, keeps pointing out, like, angel numbers, and he's like, it's a sign. He's the guy, if you look this up, there's memes about it. He totaled his Scion TC at 100 miles an hour. But anyway, every time he sees, like, a double number, like, not even a triple number, like the true angel numbers, every time he sees a double number, he's like, angel number, this is meant to happen.
So funny.
Anyway, that reminds me of Liver Dad.
And Liver Dad is talking about, he's like, if I had been home, maybe my son wouldn't have died. And Frank's like, or you would have gotten shot too. Like, I don't know what the fuck, you couldn't have changed things. And like, in a way, it was kind of a comfort to that guy to hear that, to be like, even if you were here, your son would still be dead. You might just also be dead.
Yeah.
And then Frank talks his way into staying the night at the house. He's like, it would make you feel better. Being, you've got emptiness in this house. I'd be happy to make it a little less empty. I can stay here if you'd like me to. That could work out for my schedule, I guess. Fucking Frank. Meanwhile, Debbie is asking where she can show off her new moves in the ring. Ever since you pointed that out, Lena, they say it so many times.
So many times. They're like, show off your moves. You need to learn some new moves. It's like, what are you talking about?
What moves? Punch and kick.
Techniques. Learn how to fight. Like, just say anything else.
It's always show me your moves.
Show me your moves. It's like, but it's also like fighting. Well, it's also so weird because it's like real fighting is not like a planned thing like that. It's not choreographed like that.
Yeah, no,
like
literally.
you can have like moves or whatever, but really it's more just about like defense and offense.
It's improv.
It's literally improv.
And Debbie's like, I want to be in the ring. Let me go fight somebody. And Derek's like, yeah, no, that's a terrible idea, and you're gonna get killed. So I actually don't fucking do that.
Actually, maybe she should.
Well, not if she won't get killed if she has her new moves.
Her moves.
We go over to Patsy's, which is hoppin'. Fiona and Jackie are in the weeds. Jackie is stressing out. And Sean asks Fiona to pick up a double shift. And when she says, yeah, sure, no problem, he's like, oh, you don't gotta run it past the hubby? You don't gotta check with the old ball and chain? Fuck you, Sean.
What a guy.
And then he points out, he's like, well, not wearing your ring isn't exactly a green flag for this relationship. And she's like, I took it off earlier, just forgot to put it back on. Fucking don't read into it. It's not a big thing. Okay, Fiona. And she said that they're telling her family at dinner tonight, which he's like, yeah, I'll believe that when I see it. Then Jackie she comes into the kitchen and she like trips and she drops the serving tray she's holding and she breaks some dishes and she's like, oh, fuck. And Sean's like, okay, Jackie, go outside. Just go outside for 5 minutes. And Jackie goes outside and she smokes in a cigarette. Her court hearing is this afternoon to get her kid back. And she's super nervous. Last night she stayed up all night cleaning the place, making her kids' favorite cookies and brownies and treats and stuff. She's
so sweet. She's such a sweet character.
Yeah, she just wants her kid to be happy to be home. I love her. She seems like if she could get clean, she'd be such a good mom. She wants to take care of her kid.
She had like a really good personality, like a really good attitude. Like, obviously we'll get to what happens in this episode, but like I really enjoyed her character.
Apparently Sean tried to get her to take the day off today because he knows it was her hearing day, but she's like, no, I have to work. Like, she had to remain occupied or she was going to go insane. And so Fiona goes outside to check on her, and they have like actually a very sweet scene with one another. She assures Jackie, she's like, you're gonna get your kid back. You're a good mom. You have your life together. When I was in the system, I would have killed to have a mom like you, like to get home to, no matter what foster home I was in, no matter how nice it was. It's actually a very like tender, sweet moment of like Fiona talking about a thing she actually has experience with. Back to Frank. He's learning about the kid whose liver he got. The kid was an altar boy. He was apparently just a good kid who was just home at the wrong time. And the dad apparently used to open his kid's bedroom door and watch him sleep. This guy was 17. It's creepy.
I kind of expected, I mean, I guess it's like, I don't know, a parent thing, but I did weirdly kind of expect some sort of like reveal of like something sexual.
Being weird.
Yeah.
Him being like a pervert a little bit, but I mean,
that
I
never
do get it.
happened.
It's like grief manifests in like very strange ways, but
yeah.
And then also it's like with the watching him sleep, like I think they made it sound worse than it probably actually was.
Yeah. He was just like a way over, like that's the thing you do when your kid's like 5 or 6. You go in,
right?
you
But
look
then
at their
he
room,
was just like a helicopter kind of parent. Or he was like overly emotional a little bit.
He's very emotional. He's an emotional guy. And Frank sees the like display of baseball stuff in the kid's room. He's like, it's the weirdest thing. Yesterday, I had the craving to sit down and watch the Sox. I never watched baseball before. I never liked it. I couldn't tell if that was sincere or not, because he played it really well. I couldn't tell if Frank was like, no, genuinely, I wanted to watch the Sox game yesterday, and that's very weird. Or if he was like, oh, baseball, I'm going to say this.
I'm going to assume that he did it like in a manipulative way.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how I read it.
And the dad's like, do you want to have a catch? So he goes to get his son's like baseball mitt from the attic so they can have a catch.
Isn't
Like
his
Mac.
kid like a baseball player too? And he like
Yeah.
hyperfixates on it. Like
Yeah.
his entire room is just like his
It's like all baseball stuff.
memorabilia and shit. Yeah.
Like
And-
Mac and his dad, and we can have a catch. And Chase Utley.
It's just Utley.
And we
God.
can have a
Oh,
catch.
I told you guys that Rob McElhenney threw the first pitch to Chase Utley at one of the Phillies World Series
Yeah,
games,
he did.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Rob McElhenney lately,
I can throw facts.
rolling my
I
eyes
bet
a
you
little
can
bit at that
too.
guy, but whatever.
What's he been doing that's been making
We don't
you
have
go,
to get into it here.
Okay, after
Nothing-
Nothing that
Post-
evil. Nothing that
post-
bad.
post credit conversation.
But yeah, no. Well, we'll circle back. We'll circle
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, we'll come back. I'll make a
So-
note of it so I don't forget.
So the dad goes to like get the mitt, and Frank closes the door behind him, and he's like, "I never knew an altar boy who didn't have something hidden somewhere in his room." Because he goes searching around the kid's room for like paraphernalia, like porn, drugs, anything, and he finds a magazine with a lighter and a joint in it.
Hells yeah.
He sits down and he lights the joint, and he looks at like a picture of the kid on the wall and goes, "Thanks for the liver, kid." It's like a little "here's to you."
Like cheersing at him with the joint.
Back at the construction site, Mickey comes by to try to get some bets going with Tommy to get some cash flowing. And he says he has a problem with Tommy helping the yuppies tear down the neighborhood and put up their bullshit. But Tommy's like, "Hey, the money I earn doing this allows me to place a bet that makes you money. So say thank you and shut the fuck up." And when they go on lunch break, Mickey goes up to Lip and he's like, "Hey, what were you saying about that doctor thing with Ian a few months ago?" And Lip's like, "What? Why? Why are you asking? What's going on? Is everything okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, just like, what the fuck? Tell me what you were talking about." And Lip's like, "It's a psychiatric assessment. Are you sure everything's fine?" And Mickey's like, "Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I was just asking." Like a liar. And a little time check, like I said, unlike the last episode, which seemed to take place over the course of 2 days, but with time behaving differently for everybody, this episode is like second by second keeping up
Yeah.
with the characters.
Because like what we dealt with last episode of everyone over the course of 2 days, but Frank was living only 1 day throughout the entire episode, right?
Yeah. Meanwhile, this is like Frank is in the kitchen, Frank is in the bedroom, Mickey is at the construction site, Mickey was at home, Fiona was at the house in the morning, Fiona was
Now
at the
she's at
diner. Like
work.
it's going like step by step throughout. It's actually keeping up
Like
with
we're
time
waking
really
up and
well.
going to bed with the characters at this point.
Which is a good way to keep time continuity, to be honest.
Shameless, take freaking notes from your goddamn self, I guess.
Well, it's like if it's that hard, just make it easy on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Fiona comes back inside from her break to Angela, the super hot big tipper, sitting by the window. And she sees the ring on Fiona's finger and finds out that Fiona got married. And Fiona flirts and says, "I hope that doesn't mean this is the last time I see ya."
No, maybe
Girly
it's just because she
pop.
wanted that $100 bill, y'all.
Right? She was playing with her.
Yeah, no, she was playing the game.
She was like, wink, wink.
Wink, wink, money, please.
So Angela leaves that big tip again and walks out while Fiona goes to another table. And then we go to Kev, who has been instructed by V to go out and get a hand job from a woman she doesn't know to level the playing field. So he's in a park, a children's park, talking to a mom on a bench, giving big creepy energy.
Which is weird, because wasn't his whole thing like Madonna whore? It's like, why would you go seek out like a mom?
Right?
Yeah. Like, that's the complete opposite of what
Like, that
your
doesn't
body
make
is
that
saying
much sense
yes
to me. Yeah.
I think he's still in baby brain, and he's like, "This is what I would be doing if I had the kids with me. And oh, look, there's a woman over there. Let me try to do this." But like, you have to have your kids with you at the park, Kev, and not just be a guy on a bench at the
you
children's
just look like
park.
a fucking creep.
You can't do that, Kev. And because of that, he gets maced, which honestly so fair. That
I
was
love
so
when Kevin
stupid.
screams. I love when they make him scream. It's so fucking funny.
It was a really good scream. It was very funny.
We love Steve Howie. But sometimes we don't. But sometimes we don't. But sometimes he do be playing a character good.
That photo you sent me the other day, what is he out here looking like Van from Reba again for?
Right?
What's happening?
He looks like
well,
a
he's
Ken
in
doll.
some-
He looks terrifying.
He's in some like vampire show, right?
Is he?
Yeah, isn't that what the show is?
No, it was a movie. He was in it for like 5 minutes.
No, I know.
It's
Isn't the show also?
Oh, there's a show too? I only knew about the movie. Who was the guy in that movie with him? Was it
Jamie Foxx?
Jamie Foxx, yeah.
Jamie Foxx, quadruple threat Jamie Foxx.
Quadruple threat.
I tried to watch
Foxx.
that.
Actor, writer, singer, stand up. Sure.
Question mark?
I love that when you search Steve Howie on IMDb, it says actor, Bride Wars.
Day Shift is the movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah, no, Day Shift is the vampire movie. I'm looking for the new show that he's in.
There's nothing
I'm
on his
looking
IMDb
on his
that's
IMDb.
new.
He's
Really?
not in anything new.
Nothing that he's
Yep.
posting. That he's
There's a thing called True Lies.
No, that's
in
what it is. It's True
pre-production.
Lies.
Oh, it's
Okay,
that's in
no. It's not a
pre-production, yeah.
vampire thing. It's like a double life thing. It's like
Okay.
he's a
Oh
secret
my God, it's a
secret
housewife
agent.
But he's
fucking-
out here looking like Van from Reba again. It's fucking
It's-
crazy.
Yeah, they made him all like 50s like house husband
looks
thing. Or
like
not
a
house
Ken
husband,
doll.
50s like breadwinner husband kind of thing, I feel like.
Yeah.
He
But
looks
it
like
looked,
like
it
Matt
looked like he
Bomer.
time traveled back to
He
the
looks
early
like
2000s.
Matt Bomer in, is it Blue Collar? Is the show
White
he was
Collar.
in? White Collar.
Macklemore?
No, he looks like he
Macklemore.
did in Reba.
Is that
That's
what
what
he
he looks
said?
like.
Me?
Yeah.
No, he said Matt Bomer.
Matt Bomer.
Oh,
I said he
was
looked like Matt
Macklemore?
Bomer.
Also, he looks like he did in Reba. Like
Yeah, he just looks young in that one picture.
I'm
I
too
don't know.
young for
He's
Reba.
he's posted another picture. His face looks the same, but his hair is definitely grown back in,
Wait.
which I thought he had alopecia. And that's why he shaved his head.
Cut that out. Cut that.
Cut that. I thought he had alopecia, and that's why he was like bald for the last couple of seasons of Shameless. I mean, he could have just gotten like hair plugs or whatever, but
yeah.
his
He
hair
looks
is
so
definitely
scary
grown in.
bald.
His face looks the same again. on his
Crazy.
story.
Like, who is that fucking man? He's like a shapeshifter.
He's booked.
Him as
and
Kevin and
busy.
him as Steve are two fucking different people.
Yeah.
Like, when I look
forgot.
at them. But, like, I could still look at, like, Emmy and be like, oh, that's Fiona.
Oh my god, I forgot he was in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, that's when he was shopping around to different shows, when he was like kind of blackmailing Shameless into giving him a better fucking storyline. He was shopping around at different shows.
What's
He
he
was
Wait.
on Sons for like a couple of episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then because I sent you guys this, and I was like, oh, Miss Girl was in Champions, that Mindy Kaling failed Anders Holm sitcom.
I think it was season 3 or 4. He just started
damn.
showing up. Yeah, he started showing up in other shows all the time.
Season
That's
3
so
or 4.
funny.
So that was like it continued though. So that was from 2014 to like I want to say like 2018.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was for a while.
Anyway, he got
He gets maced.
because he was being stupid. And then we go over to Debbie, who is at Ian and Mickey's place, and she's asking Ian how she can get buff fast. And he's like, well, if you want to get buff fast, you just need to be on steroids. And she's like, oh, that's a good idea. Where do you think I can get those? He's like, I was joking. What are you talking about? Are you not joking right now?
I thought he was gonna be helpful and tell her somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, remember when he was like, Allie behind the OTB, ask for Raoul, but bring a rag
Mhm.
because sometimes he doesn't bother to wipe the blood off the knives.
Yeah, but that's just like a knife. This is steroids.
Not
He's like, I
steroids.
was fucking kidding. I was kidding. And then she just runs out without getting further clarification. He's like, you know what? Not my circus. I'm not following up on that. Also, bold of her to ask him how to get buff when he truly looks like a skinny little twig I could snap.
I know,
Like,
he's so tiny
But
right now.
but he's got muscle definition though.
he
Yeah.
does, but compared
let's
to like
be
season
real.
11, compared to
Oh
like
my
season
god,
11,
when
Ian,
he entered his like DILF era.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
when he was just like, I wanted to be smothered by him.
like he is absolutely
Hunk-
in twink mode.
hunky
He is in
chunky
twink
man.
mode right now, and he gets
Yeah.
beefy later, but he is like not
So-
buff.
But
right
not
now.
even until like later. Like honestly
Like
through
season
season
10.
10, he's
Yeah.
still pretty lean.
Yeah, no, definitely like season 10 and 11, he definitely like,
It's because we talked about this like when it first started airing. It's because Cameron was like, I thought that Ian over quarantine might have like gained some weight,
yeah, because
Yeah.
he was
just
like,
like
he was
be like
staying
quarantine
in.
weight, like everybody did.
Yeah. And I was like, thank you so much because you look good.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, because he was still very like strong under it, so it was like he was just really muscly. It's like
He was just beefy. He was a beefy boy.
hi.
I'm blushing right now just thinking about season 11 Ian. Jeez Louise.
Ooh, okay. Carl is out on the streets doing his little white boy drug dealer best. He's not doing a good job. He
He's
keeps
still on
fucking up.
crutches.
Even with a crib sheet written on his arm, he keeps fucking it up. And meanwhile, again, I hate the way this is edited. Sammy's RV is getting towed, and she tells the real estate guy, you know what? You did me a favor, because I got a new one coming later. You just got rid of the trash for me. And like, baby girl, you couldn't be more wrong. We're at Patsy's again, real quick. Sean gives Fiona a bag of ziti for her big dinner. He's like, I hope your new hubby likes ziti. And she pauses, and he goes, you don't know, do you? She's like, fuck you!
Okay, but food is like yes, she doesn't know. But food is like such a thing where it's like I could go years without eating a specific food.
Yeah.
Like there is no way that my partner would know unless I like unless I mentioned
tell you
it.
the last time I had lasagna. Like
Like it
come
was
on.
like yeah, like it was my favorite or my least favorite, you know? Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't mention it if I just haven't had it in a long time.
Yeah.
It's just so funny how jealous little Sean is like flirting with her. He's like,
He's
hope your
so
new hubby likes
petty
it.
with it.
You don't know, do you?
He's so mean about it, but I'm like, Sean, you rejected her. Get
Mhm.
over it.
At the club, Ian is working. Cameron has yet to take a dance lesson. It's not going well.
He literally just like, even though like a body roll, like yes, that is a dance move, but he does not know how to body roll.
He just looks so like uncomfortable
Stiff.
a little bit.
He's so
too. He's
stiff
just so
with it.
like on his, you can see it like in his face. He's just like
It's deeply upsetting to watch.
Cause like he knows how to play a gay guy. Like homeboy knows how to. But when it came to like flaunting his stuff, he did not know what he was doing.
yeah.
He definitely was like, just like what the body.
I was gonna
roll.
make a
It's
joke and
all
be
the
like, I was gonna
chest.
make a joke and be like, he knows how to play a gay guy because he's gay. But that is just a joke. I'm not actually suggesting anything. Well, because I know Cameron has.
Lena just outed Cameron Monaghan.
He truly only dates the hottest women you've ever seen in your entire life.
Well, he's been like publicly frustrated about people assuming that in the past. But I'm like, I'm not implying anything. I'm literally just joking.
Yeah, take a
He is not
fucking
gay.
page from Darren Chris's book. Thank you
We're
very
not
much.
going to pull a Misha Collins at New Jersey convention and accidentally out him when it's not true.
Right, but it's also like you are gay.
me at Darren Chris.
Just because I said so.
I saw a TikTok about that today. God. Okay. At the club, Ian is working. Cameron's yet to take a dance lesson. He gets hit on by an older guy who asks Ian when he gets off work. And Ian's like, we don't really do that stuff here. And the guy's like, yeah, here's a bunch of money, though. When do you get off work? And spoiler alert, people, shit's about to get sad.
Boo.
Until then, we join Debbie and Carl, who are near Holly and the rest of Debbie's old friends. And Debbie gets the idea from Carl, who wants to make money on a dog fight that people might pay to see a cat fight.
Ha 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 ha.
Smart.
Mwahaha.
Also, I love that Ian's at work at the club in the middle of the day,
Middle of the day. And apparently he gets off at 6 in the afternoon.
which is real. Like it does exist, but it's like in the middle of the day.
In the middle
Well,
of
you
the
got body glitter on you at 2 p.m.
day. Oh my god, body glitter at 2 p.m. Okay.
Band name called it.
2 p.m. body glitter. At Liver Dad's house, Frank is wearing Liver Son's baseball jersey.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah. And then Liver
No,
Mom-
not that he's wearing the jersey. The way you named them as Liver Son and Liver Dad.
Well, then Liver Mom comes home.
Oh my
And
god.
she's immediately weirded out by Frank, who's wearing her son's clothes.
Yeah, no, that's
and-
weird.
And then we cut away back at the park. Everyone's betting against Debbie 20-1. But she has the bonus factor of being out of her fucking mind, which does help in a street fight. And so she beats
And her moves.
And her moves.
And her new moves. Obviously.
Yeah,
Obviously.
clearly. She beats the shit out of Ellie and Holly, and Carl gets it on video, and even he is like, what the fuck? Oh my
She,
god!
like, fucks their shit up.
And then we're back to Liver House again. The ping pong of these scenes. Back at Liver House, Frank is faking sleep so that Liver Dad can't kick him out like Liver Mom wants him to. Because they were like fighting about. She's like, get him out of my house. So he went to the room and faked being asleep so that he could not get kicked out of the house right away. And it worked because Liver Dad tucks him into bed.
Fucking so weird. It's so weird. It's like that extra step of just like his creepiness. And it was just like, bah, I don't like it.
All right, and here's where we all take a deep breath because everything that was just silly, goofy, and stupid is now about to get super fucking sad. This scene hurts. This scene hurts so fucking much. Mickey goes looking for Ian at work because he was supposed to be home by now.
In the biggest puffer jacket I've ever seen a tiny man wear.
Yeah, this is the time in the episode where time does start to go stupid, but whatever. He's like, Ian's supposed to be home by now. One of Ian's coworkers says, not too delicately, that Ian left with someone else. And they're like, he's like, lighten up. What's being gay all about if we can't fuck around every once in a while? And Mickey is crushed because Ian left with another guy. Ian is cheating on him. And so Mickey beats the shit out of this guy who like hits on him. And he's beating the guy, but he's yelling at Ian, going, fucking cheat on me, Ian? You won't get out of bed, that you're bouncing off the fucking walls? I came out for you, you piece of shit! Noel, baby, you hurt me so bad.
So bad.
Well, I was like, no, because he did.
Yeah.
Because he's right.
Yeah. Like, oh god. The scenes like that are like, why didn't Noel get at least an Emmy nomination? Like, that clip... that, like, it seared in my memory. It hurts so bad to remember.
What year was this? 2014?
2015.
Who was ruling the Emmys that year? Mad Men?
Yeah.
Probably?
Or Breaking Bad. Yeah.
Breaking Bad.
But, like,
well, if Shameless was a comedy, The Americans? Probably.
Modern
FX.
Family.
Veep.
Yeah.
What year?
Yeah. 2015.
2015 Emmys. Yeah.
Comedy.
But, like, this scene hurts so, especially since this show is classified as a comedy, and then there's him like under his breath while he's beating this guy up, going, "I came out for you, you piece of shit!" Like on the verge of tears. Fuck you.
Hurts.
That's the thing is like
Piece of shit.
I feel like all comedies in the running now aren't even like they're all more like dramedies to me, like Shameless is. I feel like there needs to be like a dramedy category. Well, Succession is definitely a drama, but it's like I think about like Barry. And to me, like Barry's a drama. And then the woman who played Sally, I cannot recall her name right now, but she's an amazing actress. Sarah Goldberg was nominated for Best Actress and did not win. And that's because honestly, it's Best Actress in a comedy, and she had a lot of like dramatic stuff.
Especially in the most recent season. Like the most recent season was the most like serious season.
So it's like she was the best actress like out of that group, period. But best comedic actress, she didn't really have any comedy to do.
Yeah,
so,
like Barry and Abbott Elementary shouldn't be in the same category.
No,
Absolutely
I agree.
not.
I think I do think there
absolutely
should
not.
be like a dramedy category.
Yeah.
Or I personally think Barry should be a drama.
Drama. Just because
Barry's
there's
a
funny
drama.
moments doesn't
But
mean
I
it's
know
not
they,
Just
like-
because it's Bill Hader, like that doesn't
Right.
mean it has to be.
Well,
a
and
fucking
it
comedy.
did used to be funnier, but now
Yeah.
it's definitely more serious. But I'm like, I know they don't want to compete against Succession because Succession is the Emmy darling, and Better Call Saul and Ozark and whatever, but it's like, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Okay, on from the sad to it's dinner time at the Gallaghers. Debbie tells Fiona how she beat up Ellie and Holly because she comes in with blood all over her. And Fiona's like, I thought you were taking the high road with them. And Debbie goes, this felt better. And Fiona goes, as your legal guardian, I feel obligated to tell you violence is wrong. But those bitches deserved it. And they give a high five.
They high five each other. It's so cute.
Kind of fair. I'll give this one to Debbie. That was kind of fair. Fiona gets a call from Sean while they're all setting up dinner. He's looking for Jackie because she didn't show up for her her custody hearing. She just didn't show up.
But Sean went just to like support her.
Yeah, Sean went to support
Is that
her and
is that
she
the
wasn't
implication there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or like
Mickey,
maybe he was driving her because she doesn't have her license or something.
Right.
no, he said he was going to support her.
Oh.
And then we cut over to Mickey, absolutely heartbroken and furious, comes blazing into the alibi, going, whiskey, fucking bottle. And he leaves it there. And then Sammy hits on him. And please let it be known for the record, I wrote this scene from memory before hitting play, and I fucking nailed it. And she's like, I don't mind being bent over the alley, a dumpster in the alley for the right guy. And he's like, well, I guess that makes every other guy in here the right fucking guy.
Her Chicago accent.
Yeah. And he's like, you're not my type. She's like, bet I could be. Bet you couldn't. What's your type? Redhead. I am downstairs. Batshit crazy. Check. Packing 9 inches. Holds up his hand to display Ian's dick size as she slinks away.
It's so funny. Like, his face, he's just, like, so straight-lipped. Like,
She was so confident with it, too. Well, and it's also, like, Sammy. Him? Like, I know he's the youngest guy in the bar, but it's like, that guy? That's the guy?
And also, I'm surprised no one had mentioned to her at all that, like, Mickey and Ian were involved with each other at all.
No, she doesn't.
Ian.
She doesn't know him.
Well,
Yeah.
I know she doesn't know him, but she knows Ian.
Right. Well, it's like she knows Mickey exists, but I don't think she's ever met him. I don't think she knows what he looks like.
Yeah.
Mm.
I would like to also take a moment for this parallel with Mickey. 1 season ago, he was drowning his sorrows over missing Ian in this very same bar. He was drunk and he was sad and he was slurring about how he loved redheads with the pale skin and the freckles, fucking alien looking. And he was in the closet and a Sammy type woman came up to him and it worked and he fucked her in the bathroom.
Yeah,
This
fuck
time-
you, Ian.
Fucking much.
Yeah. This
Fuck
time
you,
he's
Ian.
pissed
No, I'm
and
kidding.
sad and he's going back to his coping mechanism of the bottle, but now he's also able to say, yeah, and I like dick. Fuck you. Like, what growth?
Good for
I
him,
love-
dude.
I love
Well,
it.
because it's like he's not torturing himself anymore at this point. Like all of his anger and sadness, because he knows that this particular thing is like Ian's fault, because
Yeah.
he blames himself for Ian leaving a
Mhm.
season ago. So he's like torturing himself by having sex with women.
Yeah.
But this time he's like, no, this is Ian's fault.
And I also like the cut from like, I came out for you, you piece of shit, to like in the bar going like, I like dick. Get away from me.
Leave.
Fiona and Sean, everything starts to get sad in this episode, guys. Fiona and Sean have gone to Jackie's place to check on her. She's on the bed with a heroin needle in her arm, and Sean has to call an ambulance. She was like 6 months clean.
She was awesome too.
She was
She
so
was like
cool,
she was like
dude.
my
I was-
favorite of Fiona's coworkers.
I was excited to like build her character because like the only person we get is that one like snobby bitch who stays with the diner for the while. The one
We
whose
don't-
name we couldn't remember.
Melinda, I
Yeah.
think. We don't really see Jackie after this, do we? Because doesn't Sean have to fire her?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she like breaks parole. Yeah.
Yeah, he has to call her probation officer. So I think she goes back to jail for a little, but I'm pretty sure he's like, I have
Wait,
to
so
fire
it's not
her.
confirmed that she passed away. She just like OD'd.
She's
No,
not
she
dead.
she
She's not
OD'd.
dead.
No, Sean says later she like Fiona talks to him at the restaurant at one point. He's like, I
Oh, and she
had to
lost-
call her probation officer. Like,
Gotcha.
There's a scene in the hospital later in this episode. So Gus shows up to the Gallagher house and Chucky answers the door. They're both surprised and confused about what's going on. And he's like, "Where's Fiona?" He's like, "She's not here. Can I go now?" He's such like Gene Belcher. Like he's just
if Gene was like, honestly, like
unbearable.
stupider, way stupider.
And we're back to Kev, who disappeared for like 20 minutes in this episode. He got his brain together and goes to a bar where real adult men go to pick up real adult women instead of a children's playground. Thinking with
Love
her
his
head
train
now,
of
Kev.
thought.
He still talks about his kids too much, but the woman that he's talking to finds it cute. And she's like, "You want to come home with me?" And he goes along with it for a minute, but then he's like, so here's the situation. I have a hall pass. I'm married. I have a hall pass. I can get a hand job. And she's like, I have a hand. Good for her. I like
Yeah,
her.
Like she's so like weird with it, but it's just like okay. She's like, I'm down. You
Yeah.
gave me the boundaries.
She's like, cool. You let me know your situation, and we're gonna play by the rules. And I have a hand. Let's do this. Good for her. Lip comes to the alibi where Mickey is still rage drinking and he is playing pool with Iggy and his buddy. And now Mickey has decided to direct his rage at Lip. He's directing his rage at Lip. And they have a who is more Southside pissing contest. And Mickey says he's going to make the place even shittier so the yuppies don't want to come here. And he comes up with an idea. They're even like, oh, Lip presents ideas. What are you going to do? Like poison the water supply with something or with DDT? And Mickey's like, where do you think we can get DDT?
He's like, do you have a guy we can get that much? This is like that joke where it's like the rent lowering gunshots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he comes up with an idea, and then he's like, Iggy, and I think the guy that was on the construction site, too, with Lip, is also playing pool.
It's like the blonde kid, like Tommy's nephew or whatever.
Yeah. So they're like, I got an idea, let's go. And they all roll out of the alibi, and Mickey's like, what about you, Southside? And they bring Lip with him. Brief step back to Kev and the lady from the bar, who's making flagpole jokes about his dick, while Kev hums Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. That's it. That's the end of that with Kev and this woman.
Kev is a runner this episode.
Yeah.
He's got really nothing important going on.
Frank wakes up at Liver family's house and the mom is crying about how much she misses her son. And she says he would never understand. And he's like, I once lost the most important thing in my life. It leaves a hole in your soul that can never be filled. And he keeps it vague. She misses her son. He misses booze. These are the things he's comparing. He's like, you find other things to fill the void, like weed, pills, coke. And she thinks that's a joke and laughs at it, and then she kisses him, and they're gonna fuck.
It makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, because she's like, when I lost my son, I lost my husband too, and now they're gonna fuck. And then Mickey, Ian, and Lip all pull up to the coffee shop from earlier that we saw Carl walk by. And Mickey points out, oh, look, they already got the coffee machines hooked up. And Iggy says, all ready to make those non-fat faggochinos. No offense, bro.
He was funny for that.
I miss him.
No, because why was that joke kind of funny?
The no offense, bro.
No offense, bro. Like, that's what really gets it for me. Is he's like, wait, I did not mean to be offensive. I support you.
He's an ally.
He's real.
He's real. He's so real for that.
He's real to me.
Oh, God. Okay, Mickey does a bump of coke and then Lip's like, all right, give me the spray paint. Mickey says, we aren't TP in the goddamn principal's house, Philip.
So silly.
And so they pull out some automatic weapons and they start shooting up the store.
Dude, the biggest guns I ever did see. Just like lighting that shit up. But also, I love that scene because remember how many edits that scene was in? Like,
so many.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So
that
good.
was the start of the Lip Mickey
Let's
edits.
start a riot.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's the one edit I definitely remember that had that fucking thing. I bet I can find it. If I can find it, I'll send it and I'll post it with the post with this podcast.
Yeah. So they shoot at the empty enclosed store, BT Dubs. Nobody is in this store.
It's still being built and renovated as of now.
So like Iggy and Mickey and the friend all like pull the trigger and Lip never does and Mickey notices. And so the rest of them get to the car when they hear police sirens coming and Mickey like eyes Lip and goes, Southside, huh? And locks him out of the car and they fucking speed away.
It's so funny.
God, Mickey's so hurt right now. He's so hurt and fucked up. So Lip has to like drop the gun, run, and hide in a dumpster around the corner while the cops come flying by. And he like has a staring contest with a fucking rat in the dumpster. Meanwhile, Fiona's at the hospital with Sean while they wait for news on Jackie. And Sean teases Fiona about her marriage again, and he asks what Gus's middle name is, and she says, you think I don't know my husband's middle name? It's Wendell. He's like, are you lying? She's like, yes, I'm lying. I don't know what his middle name is. And she's like, I don't understand. Jackie was clean for so long. She was so excited to get her kid back. I don't understand. And so he tells her a story about how his son is the one who found him when he OD'd, his 5-year-old son. And he educates her on how much addiction still fucks him up. He's like, I understand why she did this. I am mad that she did this, but I understand why she did.
Right. Well, especially it's like reaping the consequences of your addiction makes you want to spiral further into addiction because it's a coping mechanism too.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
the vicious cycle of it all.
Yeah.
And this wasn't even like she had a bad outcome in court. She just didn't go.
Mhm.
She was
Like,
so
she
scared
got to a
over it.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Sean always like made it so clear he was like, even though I'm not using, I'm still an addict. Like no matter what, I'm always an addict.
Right. Well, he's like, well, doesn't he say at one point, he's like, I think about it all the time. Like,
Yeah, he was like, it's the first thing on my mind when I wake up and before I go to bed.
He said when they walked in the room and saw Jackie, his first thought was, can I pick that up and jam it in my arm? How much is left in that? Like,
Yeah. Homeboy got it bad too. Like,
yeah, it's sad. And it's more bonding than she and her actual husband have done.
burn.
Kev comes home to V and he tells her that he went through with what she asked him to do, and she starts crying, and he's like, well, fuck, I knew it was a trap. I knew I shouldn't have done that. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And they're both really scared and confused about what's happening with them. And the babies start crying, and he goes to check on them, and she's like, do not go up those stairs right now. We are in the middle of a conversation. He's like, I'm going to check on them. She's like, they're fed, they're dry, they're fine, they're home, they're safe. And she's like, if you go up there right now, I will not be here when you get back. And he goes, if I go up and check on our crying children, you're gonna leave? And he goes upstairs, and she stays at the kitchen table. It's like, oh shit. Shit just got real.
Damn, it's a.
I mean,
Oof.
a little bit. I'm like, have you ever heard of just kind of letting them cry it out a little? Or it's like
Yeah.
it could have waited a little. Like if she said they were fed and they were dry,
Yeah.
like they were fine. I don't know, Kev. Like I know there's a lot of like parenting books to suggest that you should like absolutely not let that happen, but it's like once we'll be fine.
Especially when
cry
they're
out.
having a conversation.
Yeah, they should have
Yeah.
at least talked for a couple of more minutes, and then if the girls kept crying, go and check on them.
Right,
Like,
because then also it implies that something might be like a little more wrong.
yeah. It's rough. Shit is rough out here for literally everybody. The next morning, I guess, Fiona comes home to Chucky asleep on her couch, and a note from Gus with the flowers and the wine that he brought sitting on the counter. And Lip comes downstairs, and Fiona fills him in. This is a really nice scene. She fills him in on Jackie, and they like check in with each other because they've been kind of missing each other so far this season. And he tells her he's going back to school early, and she's like, "Why? If you don't like your job, just quit your job, but don't leave." And he's like, "No, I'm gonna go back to school. I need to not be in the South Side right now." And he's like, "Hey, what was your big announcement?" He's like, "What, are you pregnant? What, are you married?" And her face falls. He's like, fuck, are you married?
Like you got married.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's like sweet. Like his face is just like, wait a second.
The number one question is, to who?
True.
And she's like, Gus? And he's like, do I know him? But he is happy and he's supportive, and he's like, are you happy? And she's like, do I seem happy? And he goes, I mean, yeah. And she's like, let me tell the other kids. It's like, you had to ask him if you seem happy? You couldn't just answer that you were happy? Red flag. And it's a very touching and a really sweet scene between the two eldest Gallaghers, because Emmy and Jeremy, they know how to fight, and they know how to like be the bedrock of the Gallagher clan.
Uh-huh.
In the morning at the Liver House, the mom has made breakfast and says she can still taste Frank. And that he
Ew.
can, yeah. Unfortunately, that happened. And he can stay as long as he wants at the Liver House. Sammy comes in the back door while Debbie is putting on a temporary tattoo at the Gallagher house. Sammy is still under the impression that she is getting a trailer today, and Debbie gives her the truth. Gallagher Rite of Passage. Title drop.
Getting disappointed.
Yeah, he always will. First time's the hardest, though.
Mm.
And this isn't even the first time he's like let her down. Or
Yeah,
lied to
he's already
her.
pulled so much shit with her already.
I guess she just didn't care that much.
Remember that time he didn't tell her he was his dad and let her almost fuck him?
Right? Like, damn, okay.
Take the new season.
She believes him every time. Like,
Yeah.
like I think
She just got something going up in there.
Well, I'm trying to
that,
think. I'm like, I know. Well, when she believes him again until she shoots him,
Yeah.
and
Well,
then
this time she is now so pissed at him that she goes she's like, I know where he is right now. And she goes to the liver house and fully attacks Frank with a knife. And the liver dad, who is having flashbacks of his son dying in front of him,
Not gonna happen.
he springs into action, and when Sammy pulls the knife, he like pulls her off of him, and then liver mom and liver dad get into a fight, and he's like, that's our son. She's like, he is not our son. And he's like, yes he is. She's like, well then I fucked our son.
shit, and then we just
Damn.
move away from that. Like, I wanted to see the aftermath. What
Yeah.
happened?
And Sammy just goes chasing Frank down the street, and that's how we get away from that. And these are my exact notes, people. Shit, fuck, balls, fucking shit, fuck, okay. Going into this next scene. We could do this. Again, I've read this scene from memory because I've seen it maybe twice, but it's stuck. Ian comes home. Mickey is sitting in the living room with Yevgeny, and he's like, where have you been? And he's broken. He's shattered. And Ian's like, I picked up a gig. I did a porno without a condom. And he holds up the money like everything's fine. And Mickey's like, Are you out of your fucking mind? He didn't use a rubber. Like, first of all, you cheated on me. Second of all, you shot a porno. Third of all, he didn't use a condom. And he goes, are you out of your fucking mind? You are out of your fucking mind. Don't touch me. Like, everything has suddenly clicked for Mickey. He's like, oh shit, he needs help now. And Ian is confused, and Mickey is pissed and hurt and worried. And he's like, we need to take you to the fucking hospital. You need to pack your shit. And we need to go to the hospital. And Ian's like, sorry, what? And Ian like tries to get away from it. He's like, dude, you're crazy. We're not going to the hospital. And so Mickey, pissed off, pushes Ian up against the wall and says, you're going to a psych ward or a fucking ER. It's up to you. Either way, you're going to the hospital.
I think doesn't Ian also escalate? Like he gets, like, that's why he pushes him up against the wall so hard. I think Ian also escalates it, like tries to fight him.
Oh yeah, he definitely is like pushing at him.
Ian's like pushing back against. He's like, I don't need help. Yeah, he's like, I don't need help. You're crazy. Get away from me. I don't need. And Mickey's like, no, fuck you. You're going to a psych ward or an ER, but you're going to the fucking hospital. And Ian like is pressed up against the wall and is feeling cornered, and he gets that small voice that Cameron gives Ian sometimes. He's like, I didn't understand how important this was to you. I'm gonna go take a shower, and then we can go. And Mickey like lets him go into the bathroom, and he like wipes his tears, and he goes into his bedroom to light a cigarette to try to calm down because he hears the shower running. And then we watch Mickey, and we hear Yiv kind of cry, and then we hear the front door, and Mickey's like, what the fuck? And he gets up and he walks around. Yiv is gone out of where he was sitting in the living room, and he goes running outside as their car goes speeding down the street, and he's yelling Yevgeny's name. Ian took the baby and he ran.
He took that baby and he was
What
out.
a plot point. What a central plot point to
what?
the entire show. I feel like when people talk about the show, they're like, remember when Ian stole that baby? And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember when Ian stole that baby.
The only reason I care about this plotline is because next episode we get the greatest
that
fucking
song,
amazing
the
song
Joy
by
Wave song?
Joywave.
The Joywave song? I know you
Boom,
like that
boom,
song.
boom, boom, boom. Dude, I love that song.
It's
It's
also
good.
just like
So
the
excited.
greatest performance that Cameron does in like the whole
Oh, yeah.
series.
In
is
his whole
506.
career ever.
Dude, next episode is probably one
Period.
of my favorite episodes ever.
It's the fucking best.
Extremely sad. It's hard to watch, admittedly.
No, it's hard to watch, but when it's enjoyable because of just like how well everyone fucking does in that episode.
Yeah, but it is
And
Like you feel like you're
so
in that
difficult
episode.
to watch. Yeah.
And honestly, this plot point was so important to me that I legitimately thought that Ian running away was like, and Mickey's crying, and we cut to credits, and I thought that was the end of the episode, and then it kept going.
Right, like, huh?
Huh? There's more? That's all I needed.
Because
to
it
know.
gets crazier.
Because we hop back over to Fiona, who's at work. Gus comes in to check on her about Jackie. He's very sweet. She admits she's scared shitless a little bit, but she's really happy, but she's worried they made a big mistake. And he goes, if this turns out to be a big mistake, then let's make it the most fun, big fucking mistake we ever made.
He's real for
You're
that.
so real for that, Gus. Yeah.
He's real and he's hot.
And like he's like, did it ever occur to you that I also thought that maybe we got married too fast? But it's okay because I'm having a good time and let's have a good time. And they're very sweet and he like reassures her. And I'm still very much Team Gus. He's a good guy and he loves her.
I'm like Team Gus, but like not in like I was ever rooting for their relationship. I'm just Team Gus because like I think he's a great guy, but like no, I did not. I thought their time together was cute, but it just makes me go like, stop it.
And let's hold on to the fact that we are temporarily Team Gus as he leaves and Fiona goes back over to her regular in her booth, who's no longer alone in her booth. And she turns, she's like, you brought a friend. And Fiona turns and looks, and welcome back, Jimmy Steve. It's Jimmy Steve.
Mic drop. Literal mic drop. It's like, what the fuck?
In the next episode, we get his third name.
Yep. Well,
yeah. Forgot about that.
Should we spoil it? I feel like I've already said it.
No, Angela said it in the end of season 3 in that
Jack.
after credit scene.
Oh,
Jack.
Yeah, she was like, you gonna
Jimmy
go
Steve
in, Jack? Jimmy
but
Steve,
it's so
Jack.
funny that Fiona was just like, just was having a conversation with her husband. Things might start looking good. Walks over to Jimmy Steve.
And then for her to hear about Ian after, it's like, what?
Yes.
Yeah, girlfriend cannot catch a goddamn break. So in the Jimmy Steve Fiona timeline, how long has it been since we've seen him now?
Let's not think about time.
A year, almost 2, maybe a year and a half. I would say.
Disappears at the end of season
2.
Okay. No, end of season 3.
Season 3.
Wherever you are by, and it's the start of winter at that point because it's the start of winter, and then season 4 picks up right after season 3, and then it's just the winter, and then season 5 starts the summer after that winter. So honestly, it's only been like a year at this point. I think theoretically, but also everybody's aged 2 years, but also Ian has not aged at all
in 3 years. So
yeah,
and. The credit song is Baby Was the Devil by Robert Francis and the Night Tide. It's very like 80s movie soundtrack sounding. It sounds like the end of a John Hughes movie. And next time on Shameless, Ian is on a road trip with Yevgeny. The family is losing their fucking minds looking for him. Fiona wants to know where the fuck Jimmy Steve has been, and he still loves her. That's it. That's next week on Shameless.
Wow.
Hells yeah, dude.
There was no after credit scene that I could see. So, because how do you top that?
Yeah, they don't want to spoil what you're about to see.
Right? Well, it's like they ended on 2 very, very dramatic plot points. Like, what do you do after that?
Yeah.
You can't do anything.
Fuck. Season 5, episode 5, babe. The next episode is my favorite episode of the whole series.
So good.
And we're officially halfway through the last full season I watched before season 10.
That's so funny. I'm so excited
wild.
for you to watch some of these for the very first time.
Because
like,
some
really
of them are really good. Like,
I'm really excited to see what the dynamic is of like me watching these for the first time and then recapping them with you guys. Like,
well, because we already know. Because we already know stuff. We're like, ha ha ha.
Like, I wonder if I'll catch stuff that you guys never noticed because I'm looking at it with fresh eyes or anything.
Maybe.
Yeah,
but I've rewatched it quite a few times. I think I probably like.
I wish
twice.
Netflix told you how many times you've watched something, so I can just see.
Dude, that's why I have like the letterboxed version of like TV, or the TV version of Letterboxd. It's called Serialized. I mean, there's another one. There's TV Time, but TV Time doesn't look like Letterboxd. Serialized looks like Letterboxd, but yeah,
it's like Goodreads for TV.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you track all your shows.
That's fun.
So what do we think of this episode? This episode that hurt so bad.
It's great. It's a great episode. Like, it definitely was one of those episodes that was to set up everything else about to happen, but it was still juicy with telling the story that was happening in the moment.
Yeah. I wish that they had dropped the Debbie storyline so
Boring.
that we could get more time with Kevin V.
Yeah, because they kind of blew past like their marriage ending.
Yeah, but for Kev's, it was just like, okay, to see him fail a couple times, like those are short scenes. It's like a runner, like filler scene, just to provide like a time jump, because the only real important part is like, she tells him to cheat, he does successfully, and then they like it doesn't work out well for them. So it's like So it's like to further stretch this across the entire season, or at least like as many episodes they want it to go across, they kind of have to like make it stupid for a
Yeah.
little
True.
bit, which really sucks. But it's like, well, that's how you
Because
write
God
a show, I
forbid they
guess.
give Shinola an actual real storyline to chew on.
Right,
Ugh.
until Svetlana comes into the picture, I think.
Yep, which is
Yeah.
coming up soon because
Boo.
that baby has been stolen. So Svetlana's about to commit a murder. God.
Loves her though.
God, Cameron and Noel put in the fucking work in the next episode. God damn it. I'm so excited specifically for this scene that I know is like early in the next episode of Jimmy outside with Fiona and she's on the phone and he goes, "Oh, is that Mickey Milkovich? Tell him I said hi."
I think it's literally the first scene because it opens up with her punching him in the fucking face.
Well,
yeah.
then no, yeah, and then she turns around and just goes, "Shut the fuck up,"
It's so good.
which is also so funny because it's like, Jimmy, I know you knew him like peripherally.
You did not know him.
But you did not know him. Don't act like
Yeah.
you did. Hey, Mickey, it's like for him to assume immediately that it was Mickey Milkovich and not someone else.
Yeah.
Like a different Mickey, like a random Mickey that they just met. Like that is so funny.
I just love Justin Chatwin. I love the chaos that he brings to the show, and I'm very excited for him to be back. Like, fuck yeah. Let's do some fun shit with Justin Chatwin.
Good.
Cause he'll do the most fun shit.
Oh yeah, he'll do whatever you ask him to do.
So that's it. That's the episode. That's 505. We got it in within a month of the last one. Look at us go.
We did it.
We're doing, listen, we'll post whenever we can. And again, from that lovely listener that emailed us, all the listeners that have DM'd us and stuff, thank you guys so much for even giving a shit that we post
Thanks,
this.
guys.
That's why we're still going.
Thank you for
Yeah.
listening. Because we can tell that, like, y'all keep coming back. Like, we see everyone.
Yeah, we're not like obsessed with listener counts, but like we love that people listen to our show and that it's not just us like being stupid crazy for no reason. I love it. I love that other people like like that email that I got was talking about like finding community within the shameless fandom. I love that we're providing at least a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Right.
community.
Yeah. Even though the show has ended, there are still people who are experiencing it for the first time.
Definitely. More than you would freaking expect.
Yeah.
Take it from someone deep in the supernatural fandom still. Just because the show's over doesn't mean it's over.
Oh,
Doesn't mean
real.
I'm
leading a
asking for
movement right now.
friend. Is there a How I Met Your Mother fandom? Because I'm looking for a
How I Met Your Mother?
friend.
Yeah. Well, there's just overall like sitcom.
I have been getting so many himium edits on my TikTok, and I was like, "Where are these coming from?" I've wanted these for
Did
so
you start?
long.
Yeah.
I've been
over
watching
on-
the show since I was like a child. It's my favorite show ever.
Over on my side of Twitter, like sitcom Twitter. It's like Always Sunny, How I Met Your Mother,
God, I was
New
trying to do
Girl,
this.
Yeah.
On my way.
Workaholics.
On my way.
Get over here.
I'm
Get
coming.
over here.
Well, it was really nice to talk to you guys again.
Yeah, friends.
Of
We all have
course.
Thanksgiving coming up this week, so hopefully I'll get this up before Thanksgiving. Who knows? But we did it. We recorded another one. It's always nice to reconnect with you guys. Our little like
Always.
monthly meeting.
Yeah.
If you guys want to follow us on socials, the Luck We Had Pod Instagram is Luck We Had Pod. The Twitter, if it's still around, is Luck We Had Pod. You can email us luckwehadpod@gmail.com. You can follow me at abnormalamanda18 on Instagram, at abnormalamanda on Twitter, again, if it's still there, or at abnormalamanda_18 on TikTok. Where can they find you guys?
At this point, I really barely use social media, so you can just find me on Instagram at I'mOK4000, and you can see where else you see me.
Your hashtag unplugged.
No, literally. I'm so lazy
you
these
can-
days.
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram at Kojak, COJACKK. You can find me on Twitter at DursHolmvik, like the character from Workaholics, but the L is an I. But since Twitter could be dying, you can find me on Tumblr also at COJACKK Kojak.
Fuck yeah,
Amazing. The
Tumblr.
revival of Tumblr is coming.
I've been on Tumblr. I've been around.
I know, me too.
Oh my
Me
god,
too.
the Garjanov, like
Can
Is
I
there
say
porn
something
back?
controversial? I am like
What?
not into it.
Into
the
what?
bit.
oh, I think it's so funny.
What is
I
this?
think it's funny, but I kind of hate sometimes when Tumblr will latch onto a joke and that's like all that my dash is full of, and I'm like,
Yeah.
guys, I would still like to see images and things.
What's the joke right
Evan,
now?
what happened is somebody found like these shoes in a thrift store that had a like tag on them for a Martin Scorsese movie that does not exist. And so Tumblr has created the Martin Scorsese movie, is talking about it like they have
Like
seen
made
it,
up the plot
like they've watched it
points,
since
casted
the 70s.
it,
Yeah,
GIF
like,
sets.
they've just decided it's real and are making shit up about it. It's
like
That's kind of
photoshopped
funny,
a,
but I
photoshopped
already
a poster.
No, that's
Uh-huh.
funny, but I can see how that joke would be so like it would die so fast.
I think it's also just that I saw the original post when it went around, like the shoes, like a year or two
Mhm.
ago when it was first discovered. Like I saw that, so I'm like,
Is it only
oh, yeah, I
recently
remember that.
this is like now a thing?
yeah.
Well, it's just
This is very
the
recent.
post came back into circulation, and now people have like taken it and like created a fake movie plot. To go
I told
into
my
it.
Lainey, my best friend, who is not like a huge movie person, said that like for a minute she was like, yeah, I don't know movies. It's very possible that this is a real movie. I was like, Lainey, I have to tell you right now,
It is not.
I have a degree in filmmaking. For a minute, I wasn't sure it wasn't that if it was real or not.
That's really funny.
But yeah, you can find us on Tumblr. I think my Tumblr is Skip to the Gay Parts, which is my other podcast. You can find us on Tumblr. That's fun.
I don't know. I think my Tumblr still might be like a Riverdale like URL, so like we won't tell that
Something
until
Archie.
I change it. I think it's
Something Archie.
It's anger issues.
Anger
It's
issues,
ang-
Archie. Yeah, that's real.
No,
It is.
No, it's anger issues.
Yes, it
Andrews.
is.
No, it's anger issues. Andrews. Thank you
Andrews.
very
Oh,
much.
my apologies. I'm so sorry.
So sorry. Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe I'll revamp it into not being like a fandom Tumblr anymore. Because that's what. Remember, we were living our era, our like sunny group on Tumblr. We were thriving. Remember how I would always post our
Gay
group
Rich Mac.
chats?
Well, okay, I do have a side blog that I used to reblog like all my like fandom stuff, but I think that's linked on my main blog if anybody goes and looks at it.
Oh yeah, because I would always like I had the thread of like all of our group chat names, and like I remember people would eat that shit up. 'Cause we
I
were so
still
funny.
have the note. They are so funny.
Can you
I
send
still
it to
have
me
it.
again?
Yeah, I can.
Hell
I
yeah.
will.
Okay, let's
Okay,
wrap this
we're
up.
gonna
We
get
got
outta
things
here.
to do.
Thank you guys for joining us. Have a happy holiday, and hopefully we'll be back before Christmas. Who knows? We'll figure it
Oh
out.
yeah, let's definitely try to do that.
All right, I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Goodbye.